Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna work on the impala tonight for a little bit. I believe I got all the brackets and everything I need for this power steering and hopefully the generator bracket. Not sure on the generator bracket yet, but these are the brackets I got for the generator, which I haven't tried these yet. Looks like the power steering brackets are gonna work. First thing I wanna do is bolt this one to the motor itself, and then we got to get the power steering pump in here. Actually, we need to mount this one and this other one that goes over here. So let's get these mounted on first. These are 7/16 bolts down here that hold this lower bracket. This is a 1960 power steering setup rather than the 59. So I need to change this gearbox out too. I have a new one down here on the floor. But I wanted to get this pump and stuff on first to make sure that all gonna line up. This stuff I like to try to all do by hand rather than an impact or anything like that, because I want to make sure that it's threading in right and tightening up. Okay, now we got that in. We have to take this bolt off the bottom exhaust here, which should be 9/16. I'm gonna have to go grab an open end wrench for that. Okay, let's loosen that up, get that off. Might have to get a longer bolt. I don't know how long this one is. Yeah, it might be long enough. So this should go like this. I believe. I'm wrong. I think it goes on the top one actually. Maybe it doesn't go on either or. It's not lining up here unless, must get a spacer there. There must be a spacer that needs to go between the exhaust manifold and the bolt. So I need to go see if I can find a spacer somewhere, because I do not have a spacer. So I will go see if I can find something. And obviously I'm gonna need a longer bolt too. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a stud into the manifold, and then we'll put a washer and a nut, and then hopefully that'll be long enough to accept the power steering pump bracket. I think this stud's too long. I got a shorter one here. Let's try this one, because then I can tighten up this manifold and then tighten the bracket to it. So let's put a washer and a nut on here. Get this tightened down. Okay, let's see how we look spacing wise now. Pretty close actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one more washer on here. Then I'm going to put the bracket. And then I have a lock washer and a nut. Wherever that went. I lost it. Where the heck did that go? All right, get another one. started here. Okay, now we can get our bolt in the front. Okay, so now this should slide into here. Actually, that lines up just perfectly. So if you look here at the power steering pump, if I get it back off, there's a stud here with a nut on it. That nut just spaces it away enough from this motor, and I have another thin nut here that we could put on the backside to tighten it onto that bracket once we adjust it, once we get a belt. Now, this one doesn't have a stud in here currently. I have to thread a stud back in there, which has an Allen key. I gotta do that from the backside, so that's gonna be a little bit tricky getting to it. Get this back in place. Okay. Put our front bolt in. We're going to leave it loose so that we can try to get that stud in on the back side. And I don't know if I need to put a double pulley there. Probably gonna have to, and I believe I have one, because I don't know if this power steering pump uses a separate belt or not. I'm guessing it probably does. I have the pulley outside right now. I painted it, so I have to put it on here. It does set back, so maybe it will line up and we'll just run one belt for this, and the generator. But I'm not sure yet. I gotta find that black stud. Here it is. So this has to go in the bottom on the back here. I wish I would have known I was doing this on this motor, because it would have been a lot easier to do this when it was out of the car rather than fighting it now. Yeah, this is not going to be easy. I almost wonder if I should try to get the back one in first, take this front one out. Might be the better way to go. There's no way I'm going to be able to see back there. I'm trying to just feel for it and turn it. All right, I'm gonna mess with this a little bit and then I'll come back. There's no point in recording me trying to screw this in for 20 minutes. Okay, I got the back one threaded in and I got the nut started. As soon as I turned the camera off, within like a minute, not even, I had it started. Just wanna make sure I got it tight enough. I gotta try to get this front bolt in now, which I don't know how hard that's gonna be. But I did get the back one definitely in. So close. I didn't realize I could have put this bracket on here first and that bolted it to the motor. I didn't think I was going to be able to get to that one bolt because of the pump. But looks like I can, but that's all right. I think I just about have it, so. So close. I think I got it. And I'd have to take this fan off the motor because the guy wants to run an electric fan. Okay, that's, you know what, I probably shouldn't tighten that very tight right now. Let me leave it loose so that I can pivot it. And then I'll just get this nut started in the back of this other one, if I can. I think I need to pull this bracket out a little bit if it'll let me. Got a little gap between the two. Okay, that's started. So we will just leave this loose for now. This I'll tighten up. Everything else we just leave a little loose so we have a little bit of adjustment for the belt. Though it doesn't have a lot of adjustment. Only has about maybe 3/4 of an inch. Now I have to figure out this generator mounts, which I honestly have no clue. I think it's supposed to go like this, which means this is in the way, but that actually might work out because if I take this bolt back out, see, I have a small block one over here, but it's a completely different setup. You see how this generator mounts on here is completely different than these mounts. And I don't even know that these mounts even have adjustment. So I'm not sure on that yet. Now this new generator looks like the old one, but it's actually an alternator. So let's loosen this up. Let's see if we can slide this bracket behind this one. I gotta loosen that. That'll actually give this a little bit room to move that way, actually. I hope I'm doing this right. I really don't have much to go off of. I've looked at a couple pictures. It's really kind of hard to determine from a picture on the internet. See that, because that slotted, so that was able to get this to move forward. So now I just wonder, can I put this behind it and get it bolted back in? Because now I gotta line this up, because right now it's out of whack. Just like that. And that actually lines up better down there now. find another bolt here for this upper bracket, or upper hole. I'm almost wondering if I'm missing a bracket. That's tight. That's better on the back side. This moves freely, better than it did, but it's still close. It doesn't have a ton of adjustment. Tighten this up. I'm gonna go grab that new alternator and we'll see how it lines up. Okay, so the difference, what it is on a 59 Impala, the generator, the power steering pump is built into the back side of it, and then you run your 2 lines off the back of it into there. I guess it's not as good of a steering system, I don't know. So this is a 60 power steering pump, and then we're putting an alternator up there that looks just like the original generator. Let me get it out of the box here. This is made by Power Master. It's a lot lighter, I give it that. So this mounts, guessing, like this, which we are hitting the brakes, which means I'm probably gonna have to move that. And these brakes are different than normal. So this bracket's supposed to go down here. So I'm definitely gonna need some spacers there. And I don't know, oh, you know what? Maybe it goes like that. It lines up like that. So I wonder if it goes like that. And then we'll have to get this other bracket with the arm, which should go to there, which I believe I have that. I don't know if I've painted it or not, but this is in the way. So we need to move that over, which I think I can just honestly tweak it just a little bit to get me the clearance I need, because this is a different setup than normal. And when I got this set up, this bracket was actually bent when it came out of the box. So we might just have to work it out just a little bit. I don't want to go breaking any lines or kinking them or anything like that. Let me go see if I have that upper bracket. Okay, I found it. I had sandblasted it, but I never painted it because I was not sure if I needed it. Now on the small block, it goes on the power steering, or on the water pump bolt. So I'm guessing that's probably where it's going to go on here, because I think that might be back too far. But I gotta paint this, obviously. But I think I should probably maybe get this mounted to here first. I might just use a nut on each side for a spacer, because that would look like it would be a pretty good size. Let me go see what I have hardware wise. All right, let's see what we can do here. Make sure I do this right. It goes this way, so it's gonna go this way. So what I'm thinking is I put a washer, start threading this nut on just a little bit. We'll do the same thing on the back one. Start threading it. Actually, that looks like it's going to be perfect. Nice tight fit, actually. So, in theory, I should be able to thread these in all the way. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. Then I could put a nut and a washer on the back side. Once again, I'm going to leave this stuff loose. Looks like I gotta go get some more bolts. Let me see what size this is. Okay, that's a 3/8 thread. So you're gonna get a 3/8 thread and a 5/16. Grab 2 of those. Now I bent this brake thing out a little bit. I can always push it back in afterwards. I just moved it a little bit. Okay, that one started. Oh boy. Couple washers here. At least I didn't do any damage. Need a 9/16. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to be able to move that brake thing back a little bit. And then this, yep, it's going to go right to this water pump bolt, and that'll be our adjustment for that. So technically, we don't really need to have a lot of adjustment on the power steering pump, because we can adjust, if we use one belt, if it lines up, we can just get all our adjustment out of the alternator rather than having to get adjustment out of here. If we have to run a separate belt, then obviously we need to adjust the adjustment out of there. And it looks like, by the way this is sitting here, that if I just move this out to here, should be more than enough adjustment. So I should be able to take this and tweak it back straight. So I'm gonna get this painted, and then we can get that on there. I gotta get a belt, and I gotta wait for the paint to dry for the pulley. The belt I originally had obviously was not set up for a power steering pump like that, so Let me get this bracket painted. Okay, I got that bracket painted. Still a little bit tacky, but it'll be fine. So I took this bolt out here. There was thread sealant on it. So I have a longer bolt here that we are going to stick a washer on. We're going to use a little bit of this Right Stuff gasket maker. I just want to put a little bit on these threads because clearly this must go through the water jacket and I don't want it to leak. Well, a little too much there. I'm going to have to wipe a little bit of this off with this plastic here. I just really need it in the threads. I don't need it everywhere else. So we'll just goop a little bit on here and we can go ahead and slide this bracket on. Get this in there. Hopefully that bolt's not too long. And I have a bolt for up here. Like I said, this bracket's still a little bit tacky, so I don't really want to mess with it much. Just wanted to get it in place for now. Okay, we're good. So there, those are set. Like I said, I'm waiting for that pulley to dry, which I could probably grab it and see if it's gonna line up at all. I just got it right outside here. Lined it up with the keyway. Yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be out too far. Let me grab a socket here. You can drive it on and grab a hammer. Now obviously you can use a pulley installer, but I think if I just lightly tap this, it should go on. Yep, we're gonna definitely need a second pulley. So I think I have one around here. And this still might go on a little bit more when I go to tighten it. I'm gonna have to use the impact to tighten that on and hold the pulley. But it's definitely out farther than this lower pulley. So I'm guessing we're gonna use one belt for these three. And then, actually, let me go grab that belt and we'll see if it fits onto those three. Okay, I got a belt here. And I can always get a shorter belt if I need to. So this will tighten. But I think I'm gonna get one size smaller so that I can bring this closer to the motor so that I can bend that back straight so it looks right. So I'm gonna take this belt back and get ½ inch or so shorter. I also found this other pulley here, which I wonder if, see it's too big in diameter. It's gonna hit the water pump pulley. So that's not gonna work. I need to find another pulley that's going to line up with this one. So that's going to be my next battle, and hopefully it's not another long one. But let's go ahead and end this video here. We have an idea of how this stuff is fitting together finally. I literally waited like a month or so for these brackets. So now the next feat is going to be that lower pulley. But while we're waiting for that, tomorrow after I get home from work, we'll change out the steering box, the shaft, and the knuckle, because those are all different on this one versus the other one. So that's what we'll do tomorrow night. We'll get that swapped out, and we can probably put our power steering lines on, just get everything kind of loosely in place, and we'll have to go back and tighten everything up afterwards. So that's going to end this video. just wanted to do a video on starting to get this stuff fitted onto the motor. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.